guys, welcome, and this is Check, and I hope everyone is doing great. And today I'm going to discuss a very interesting, unique and special bourbon whiskey. But before that, let me show you first my background, and this is actually Jack's Sparrow ship, and this is Captain Jack Sparrow. So there's a pirate, so there's a monkey and a bird. But hey, that's not what we're going to talk about. But somehow, the history is similar to the bourbon that I'm going to discuss today. And we're going to use this background for us to easily understand and imagine the history itself. And that involves two men, a ship, the ocean, and that's going to be Jefferson's Ocean HX. So, without further ado, let's start. Check this out. Alright, so let's talk about the history of Jefferson's Ocean's Age at Sea. So this is a Louisville, Kentucky-based bourbon that is blended and bottled in the United States and Canada by Castle Brand and has a 45% alcohol by volume, and it was first released in 1997. Okay, so as what I have mentioned, we are going to use this background for us to easily understand or somehow imagine the history of Jefferson's Ocean Age at Sea. It all started with two men, namely Chris Fisher and Trey Zoller. Alright, let's imagine that the guy here is Chris Fisher. Chris Fisher is actually the expedition leader of the organization named O-Shark. And O-Shark is the one that helps to restore the balance and the abundance of the sea life in the sea. And he's actually the one who owns the ship. And let's imagine that the guy here is Trey Zoller, and he is the guy behind the idea of experimenting to age the barrel at the sea. So that time, he's fortunate enough to celebrate his 40th birthday with his friend Chris on the ship down in Costa Rica. At that time, as they sailed on the ship, Trey looked at the bourbon as it goes back and forth the bottle. So he's thinking that if it happens auto, that means that it could happen in a barrel as well. So if it happens in a barrel, that means that it could accelerate or somehow change the maturation process of the bourbon. Trey teamed up with Chris Fisher and they determined to start first with 3 barrels and load it up to the ship. He was wondering what would happen if they aged the bourbon at sea through all the weathering, the temperature, and how it affects with the conditions and the movement or rocking of the sea. So as they loaded up the 3 barrels onto the ship, they sailed on to the 30 different ports, 5 continents, and crossed the equator 4 times before it comes back to Kentucky. So the question is, what happened to the bourbon at that time? The bourbon itself has its direct contact with the barrel, picking up all its flavor, sucking in the salt air, and caramelizing the sugar within the wood while it crosses the equator. As a result, there's like 3 spirits in one. There's like island malt, dark rum, and the bourbon. Due to massive demands from consumers, Trey has now commercialized this experiment and sent hundreds of barrels around the world. And there you have it, Jefferson's Ocean's Age at Sea. You can have it neat or on the rocks. Cheers, guys. Fun fact of the day. Don't you know that Christopher Columbus, the founder of the United States, was drunk the entire time he sailed at sea? Thanks for watching.